All right, moving on. Let's try and that was just a warm up, right? We're all warmed up. Let's try and get another game. 15 plus 10. See if this one works out any better. I think multiple times if we just sat for a little bit and taken our time. Okay, 21-36. By far the highest rated opponent we've played so far. And I think we're officially not provisional anymore. Okay, so French. Let's see if we can get a Tarrasch. Okay. I hope he goes for this line because I don't know this line very well at all, even though it is the main line. All right. Let's develop our other knight, defend the pawn. But it might be a good opportunity. I literally just started an opening file on this, even though I've played the Tarrasch for ages. I've mostly just learned it through playing, so it might be a good opportunity. Okay, so he's transitioning into something I know a little bit better. Let's push the pawn. He can go here. He does. But now I don't mind this. If I go here, 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 he can take that pawn. So let's just transition into this sort of structure. Now I don't know what he's planning to do. Really? He can bring the knight here, but and if we go here, we have two attackers, but he can very quickly. Okay, so here. All right, guess he can do that. Sure. I feel like we can just go here and castle, though. All right, because we have, we have three defenders here. 1, 2, 3. Even if he brings queen and the bishop here, I'm not very scared of that. Here, here. I think if we develop this bishop here, okay, goes for it. Okay. Now, he may bring this here. And if we castle, then he can take, 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 and then we can take here. We defend. No. Okay. Well, in the Tarrasch, we kind of gave that pawn up anyway, so I don't know if I'm particularly scared of that. I don't know if I'm particularly scared of that. I have a feeling he's just going to liquidate everything. I don't know. So it could turn into a pretty boring position. I mean, the French is boring anyway, but pretty stale even for a French. And so I think in this position, our next move, if nothing crazy happens, is just going to be castles. And I think if he brings the knight out here and takes, it is an issue though with this, but we do have that, if we've taken here, so let's say he brings the knight here, okay, we castle, he goes here, so here, 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 here. He can't take this because of this nice tactic here. we win the queen. So I think so long as we don't recapture with the knight here, I think we're okay. I think. And if he does none of this stuff, I will absolutely just win a pawn for nothing. But who knows? Okay, right. We can en passant. Maybe he brings this back. We go here. This file is open for him. You may see this, but he can't defend it with the knight. It's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, I think in most cases you're supposed to take. Now he may bring this back. He may bring the queen out. And if he does... Okay, let's en passant. I think in most cases if they play f6 you take it. If they play that you en passant. It's just practically forced, right? As the meme goes. So you can go here, I guess. I can take that. You can take this. Already at this point, I just have a feeling he's going to play this, okay. Castles. Okay. Castle here. Am I worried about that? I don't think so. You can put a rook on the open file. Okay. That's castle. I mean, he's got a backward pawn here that he can't push. This pawn's protected by the knight. Maybe he's thinking about this. I don't know. But now I am just thinking about this and this and this. And giving him an isolated pawn here. Bringing the knight in. Okay. And this tactic with the bishop, if this pawn's overtaken with the queen behind it, also works once the castle. Like it doesn't help. We both have weaknesses. We have an isolated queen's pawn. They have a hanging pawn structure here. Okay. Now, so long as this knight's here, none of these are available. Okay. Trying to choose between which file we occupy. We could occupy this file, we could occupy that, and in reality we'll probably do both. Let's start here. The queen's actually quite well positioned. It defends this pawn, and if this is overtaken and we can't have this tactic, if this tactic doesn't exist, it's also defending this pawn. I have a feeling he might do something like this. Just try to trade off the queens. In which case we have some options, I think. I mean, we are obviously going to decline the trade. I don't think there's any question about that. It's also maybe a good idea to put this knight here to prevent this pawn coming forward. So he's going to try and develop here, I think. So let's just make him think again about that. He may be going for this based on the queen side. Try and develop here. Okay. Let's stop him coming in there. Of course, again, he can't take here because of this tactic. And that would force the queen trade is the problem. It doesn't necessarily. And he can kick it back here. And then we can fork. Yeah, that's actually maybe not too bad. Here. He does take this. Here. Check. Here. 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 And we should pay attention to the fact that these are all unforkable squares. All right, because this does multiple things. It puts pressure on this, right? Which is his biggest weakness. It allows this, I see that, here. His king starts getting very airy. He does have this check here, but we win the exchange. And the other thing he can do is he can go here. He can't do that. And then what's our knight doing? Maybe at that point we just induced a weakness and we just go back. And then this tactic does exist. Okay, maybe that's a flaw in it. Here. Is there a way to increase the pressure on this? I don't think so. We could still take here. No. Okay. I'm also not a fan of that, so maybe we just stop that for the moment. Kind of useful waiting move. Using tactics still to defend this d-pawn, but that won't last forever. I'm wondering, can he push? Can he push? No, it just loses a pawn. Just loses a pawn. I really wish we could play this, but I don't want to. It feels very hope chessy in a way. Plays it anyway. Okay. Here gives them the option to trade queens, or to try to anyway. Now, I feel like this is his biggest weakness, though. We need to find a way to attack. This doesn't work because we don't have enough attackers. If we were to go here, we start to give up control of the only open file on the board. So this is a strategic decision. I'm not sure which way it works. Because say we get everything we want. So we say we go here, and we get 2 moves, and we go here. Okay, even 3 moves, we get this in. Okay, so we're attacking it. It gets this. That is an issue. That is an issue. We don't have any good discoveries. But he's already defending it 1-2 times. He has another rook here. He can defend it 3 times. So I'm just not seeing how we can exert more pressure. Now what we can do is we could come in and attack the bishop here. 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 We lose an attacker. He still has the same number of defenders. We can come in here. He can defend. We can go here. I don't think we can do that. Here, here. Here. I'm not seeing another plan here necessarily. I'm not seeing another plan necessarily. Here. Here. We can't drop back here because he can push. So what else? Does this give us anything else? Here, here. I don't want to take because that fills the hole. So let's go here. We don't have any reasonable breaks in the position. I suppose that at the very least what this does is it at least gives us access. Maybe we can then go in here, something. Okay. Here, here. Then can we push? So here, here, here. He goes back. We're spending a lot of time. Okay. That's what that move was about. Now I see it. Now I see it. Here, here. Here, here. We needed to play that. It's stupid. It was here, here. He can't focus there. Maybe that's a way to weasel out. Here, here, here. Here. Okay, on the board. Here, here, here. Here, 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 here. I don't think that works. Let's go here. Now we do have the option of if he moves the bishop, he's taking here. Huh. You can go there. And we just take. Does this not just lose a piece? What's he seen after this? Here? So here, here, here. Let's check. I thought that lost a piece, but it doesn't. We go here, use here, takes. Ah, we don't have that anymore, so we need to go here, 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 here. Need a bit of lift. We can go here, but it only works. Now this will be check as well, so. At least we've evened up the time situation. Okay, he's looking to exit out here. I see. I see. Here, 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 and here. That's going to be a fork. Just as when he plays this, it's not a fork. Okay. That defends against this. Defends against this. We can go here, here, here. He goes here, here, here is, we can't play that. That's unplayable. Here, here. Here. Where can he go next? That might be our best option, although if he plays this and goes here, okay, if we keep the tension here, 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 he's heading for there, here, here, but I'm noticing this. Yeah, he still has this square. Here, 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 here. And then we can take the pawn. Okay, here. He could push this immediately, that's the thing. If he does that, then here, 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 we lose a lot of pawns. I'm not sure that helps. Here, in fact, it might make things worse if our taking the pawn comes with tempo. But we really need to speed up now. We're very behind on the clock. Here, here. Okay, here, here's the problem. Maybe that gives us access to here. Okay. That would have been a good move. That would have been good. He's not making any mistakes. Okay. I don't think we can trade. Right? Maybe if we... here, 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 here. That's losing. That is losing. I just gotta hope he messes it up. That's it. That's all. But this is losing. This is a loss. This is a loss. I don't have time to figure something else out. Sorry guys, that didn't feel like I had a chance at all, Just giving up that pawn in the center is the only thing, but okie dokie. So French Tarrasch. Starts here, and this I don't know. I kind of tried to transition it just into a more regular sort of Tarrasch line. I think this is all okay. This is all fine. Our issue, where we lost the game, is this move. I think needed to recognize that the reason for this was so that this was impossible. That's the mistake. That's the mistake. Just didn't consider what it was the opponent wanted. Because I think if we look at it here, I think it's just going to be pretty much equal, if not entirely just zeros. And I think if we wanted to do something kind of active, it was maybe this. This was the thing. This was the thing. Here. And we don't have a way to recapture the knight, that's the issue. Pawn move, just knowing that he's going to play this. I have a feeling that what we should have done is we should have taken this and split these pawns up. Now that's double-sided because it means our rooks have to coordinate to win one pawn but also stay have an eye to the other pawn, although this pawn's on the f file, so our f pawn should be able to deal with it, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be the move. Here, here, and here. Yeah, I mean, this seems, we can go here. And maybe we want to keep this locked. Maybe we want to keep that locked, actually, because if we take, then we have this other pawn sitting here as a weakness. That can be one. Maybe, you know, say stupid move here, 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 and here, maybe. Now I'm just noticing that there's the possibility for us to get there first, so this doesn't work. They can go here, here. Oh no, they can't go there. That's a free rook. So here, they have to come to f4. Although now I am also noticing they have this. So I don't think that works either. So here, 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 and here. That is the position. I don't think there's any way this works. He can always just bring the rook back here way before I can get the pawn in behind. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And it all just stems from losing that pawn in the center. If we just don't play this rook, if we just play this here, here, I mean, this bishop isn't really going anywhere. We can't really do much in the position, but neither can he. I don't think there's anything for us here in this position. Maybe we can rewrite this here. Something like that, maybe. This is equal, I think. Here, here, here. Now this pawn is under attack again. I don't think that works. In fact, this just works straight away. This just works straight away. So with that in mind, this is the only move that works. That's the only move that works. So let's switch over to the analysis board. Let me just get it up here. We actually did have a pretty big advantage. We did have a pretty big advantage. Okay. Annoying, but this is how we learn. This is how we learn. So first of all, let's see if these couple of critical moments that we can think of, or that we were thinking of. And we will also check the book E5. Seems like the move. And the engine agrees. Here, here. D3. Okay, so D3, C3, both good. Okay. Knight takes. Knight takes. C takes is okay, but knight takes. Knight takes here, and then knight takes here. Perfect position. Okay. Still we have a pretty good position. Okay, Ampersand is correct, so our mistake is not here. Takes here. Castles was correct. Bishop takes. Takes. Queen takes was correct. This is all correct. We played the opening fine. The opening is not where we lost this game. It is going to be, I think, the moment that we highlighted. A to C1 correct. That's incorrect. Knight to G5, or that move was there. That move was there. It was, like I said, I think I maybe seen that a move too late. Here. Queen E3, takes, we get a better center now. And this is going to be mate, actually, if he can't defend that. Yeah, so he defends it there now. And we go back to G5. Wow, okay. That's crazy. That is crazy. That we had such a big advantage. And I think I did see that, but I think I maybe seen that here. I think I seen that here, and I don't think it works anymore. And in this position, I was correct. We needed to play knight e5. C2, something to still have eyes on this, because I think it was like this position. Okay, rook C3. Rook C3. Okay, B4 is okay. B4 we played. And now this. Okay, that's bad. And bishop, bishop F1, of course. That's actually better. Defend this pawn. At least it's doing something. We can fiend counter the bishop once we get this knight defended. Here. Oh, it's all so simple when you see it like this. It's all so simple when you see it like this. How does this tactic work? Oh, there, of course, the queen. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Here, bishop takes, 95. So I did see that move, but I seen it too late. Knight g5. Knight g5 just wins the pawn. Just wins the pawn. Because even if you go here, you just take it. Okay, it wins. You can win this pawn back. Now, drops the bishop, so he can't do that. All right, that's why it works in that line and not this line. Knight g5, that was the move. That was how we killed him. That was it. So you missed something like that, and of course our move just blundered the. That's the mistake. Now what's good moves? Bishop c2, knight e5, h4, looking to support the knight. Basically anything apart from what we played. Yeah. But goofy mistakes on our end. That was just a bad game. We're just going through a little bit of a rough patch, and that elusive 2000 is going to remain so. So let's regroup. We'll come back in the next game, and hopefully we can get back on track. Thanks for tuning in.